Hey guys, welcome back for another video. We got a fun one prepared today. What we'll be doing is we'll be completely breaking down and predicting our AFC divisional playoff matchup we have between the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. This is two of the best teams in the NFL, two of the best quarterbacks, the two MVP frontrunners, two of the best offense. It's actually the number 2 offense versus the number 3 offense. This game's going to be a shootout. It's going to be fun. If you love offense, if you love great quarterback play, this is the game. We are going to break down the matchup, try to predict the outcome, who's going to win, who's going to lose, what the final score would be. We'll also take a look at the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. First things first, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments about this game or anything else, drop it below. I respond to every single comment. I'm always thankful when you guys like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Every week, we've been going over every single NFL game since the season started, all the way till now, all the way up to the Super Bowl, breaking them all down. We also do the same thing for every college football game every week as well. Don't forget, the national championship is January 20th, this coming Monday. This is it, guys. The playoffs are here. The entire football season is almost over, but there's a lot going on in the world of football right now, so make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you can follow along. Today, we're looking at the Baltimore Ravens 12-5 versus the 13-4 Buffalo Bills, the AFC divisional matchup. 1:19 Sunday, 6:30 p.m. on CBS. Baltimore right now, this team has been cruising first half of the season, pretty questionable on the defensive side, but since the second half, they actually have had the number 2 defense in the NFL the second half of the season. Definitely dropped down their points per game that they were giving up on defense, but we all know who's been getting the credit here. Lamar Jackson has been lighting things up. He's been putting up video game numbers since the first game this season, lighting things up to the air, lighting things up on the ground. One of the best personal quarterback seasons I've ever seen in my life. The amount of touchdowns this guy's put up, and he's kept the turnover so down. Amazing season. Same thing for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, he's been lighting it up on the offensive side, doing the same thing. Throwing the ball, running the ball. I actually had Josh Allen as my MVP frontrunner up to week 18. He took one snap, set the rest out. I don't fault him for that. The game was meaningless, but Lamar Jackson played the entire game. So because you play one more game, to me, that now has to give the edge to Lamar Jackson, who, let's say, he did deserve it. He did have a great season. Right now, Lamar, he's been closing in on 4,200 passing yards, 41 passing touchdowns, only 4 picks, only 4 interceptions this entire season, and he has 41 touchdowns. He also adds 4 rushing touchdowns to that, 45 overall touchdowns. And right now, Baltimore, this game, this is as 50-50 as it gets. The fan vote on ESPN, Baltimore, a 50% chance to win this game. Buffalo, a 50% chance to win this game. Baltimore's a 1-point favorite right now. The over-under is 51.5. This is as much as a 50-50 pick'em game as it gets. Just throw a quarter up, no matter where it lands. This game could go either way, but it's going to be an offensively focused game. It's going to be decided in the trenches, at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be decided over the entire 4 quarters. I don't see anyone beating the crap out of anyone first half and just cruising through this game. These offenses, they're going to make it difficult. There's a lot on the line here. The 2 front runners for the MVP, 2 guys putting up crazy numbers this season. Lamar, like I said, 45 overall touchdowns. Baltimore right now has the number 3 offense in the NFL, just behind Buffalo. They're averaging 30.5 points a game, throwing for 237.4, running for 187.6, which is actually the number 1 rushing team in the NFL. When you run the ball like that, what does running the ball do? Keeps the turnovers down, and it gives you control over the game, gives you control of time of possession. The longer you're on the field running plays, you're sucking up time clock, and you're also keeping the ball out of the high-powered Buffalo offense's hands. They're giving up 21.2 points a game. They were giving up 25 to 26 first half. They dropped that number down because that defense has been dominating, especially for the last 5 to 6 games. Where they have a weakness, which it is doing a lot better right now, they're giving up 244.1 passing yards per game. There's still question marks in the secondary. Yes, they have been playing better for the last month and a half to 2 months, but there's still question marks there. That is on the back end in the NFL, bottom 10 in their secondary ability, in the yardage they give up. But where they're great at is on that defensive line, that defensive front. That front 7, number 1 in the NFL, only giving up 80.1 yards per game. You can throw on Baltimore, but you definitely cannot run on them. We know Buffalo wants to establish a legitimate ground game the entire game. It's going to be strength on strength. Can Baltimore slow down Buffalo's rushing attack? Namely, can they slow down Josh Allen from scrambling? They don't give up very many yardage on the ground. If they make Buffalo one-dimensional, they definitely have a chance to seize this game. And looking at Buffalo, obviously Josh Allen also putting up crazy numbers this season. 3,800 passing yards, 28 passing touchdowns, 8 picks, 13 rushing touchdowns, 41 overall touchdowns. Had he played Week 18, he could have also potentially finished the season with 44 to 45 overall touchdowns. These guys are great. This is going to be two of the best quarterbacks facing off. I don't have a horse in this race. It's just going to be fun to watch. This is going to be football at its best. It's a shame that it's so early in the playoffs. I would have rather this have been the conference championship to see who gets to the playoffs, because both of these teams are more than capable of making it to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl this season. Right now, for Buffalo, they average 30.9 points a game. Number 2 offense in the NFL, right behind the Detroit Lions. They're throwing for 227.9. They're running for 131.2. Very balanced offense as well, throwing, running. They're giving up 21.6 points a game. They give up 226.1 passing yards per game, 115.5 on the ground. We know Baltimore, with that number 1 rushing attack, they want to establish a consistent rushing game over 4 quarters. You might be able to control it for 1, 2, 3, but can you shut down Baltimore on the ground over 4 quarters? They're going to be running right at you. It's going to be physical. It's going to test depth. It's going to test scheme. Right now for the Playmakers, Baltimore, obviously Lamar Jackson. He also had 900 yards on the ground. And then you have Derrick Henry. Great season, 79 yards shy of 2,000 rushing yards. Right there with Saquon Barkley. And they have Flowers has been banged up, but he's there. Bateman, Andrews, likely. This is a very deep offensive roster. They have playmakers at every single position. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Some people might say they have the best offensive roster in the NFL. That would not surprise me at all. They're good. Can Buffalo slow them down? This game's going to be a shootout. Whoever gets a potential lead early, you want the other team trailing you the entire game. But this one's probably going to go back and forth, counterpunch. And looking at Buffalo's playmakers, obviously Josh Allen, he has just under 600 yards rushing. They have cooked 16 rushing touchdowns during the regular season. Shakir, Coleman, Cooper. What I will say about Buffalo, they don't have the legitimate wide receiver number 1 threat that the Ravens have, but they do have a good overall wide receiver core. They work together in tandem as a group. Whenever someone needs to step up and make a big play, third down, someone is going to step up. They don't have a go-to guy. They just have a bunch of consistent guys that could make the difference here. This game is really hard to pick. I don't feel comfortable in this prediction in any way whatsoever. The reason that I say that is this is as much as a 50-50 game as it gets. Literally, the fan vote, 50.0, 50.0. It is dead even. Either one of these teams can win. I said it'll go down to the end of the 4th quarter. It's probably going to go down to the last possession. It's very hard to, before the game, pick who's going to have the last possession because we just don't know. But whoever has it last is probably going to win this game. So if I had to pick right now, if you put a gun to my head, I'm going to go with Buffalo pulling off the win here. Going with the +1. I have Buffalo winning this one 33-27. Going with that +1. Going with the over here. But guys, this is a tough game. As a fan, this is going to be fun to watch. I'm not saying the Ravens can't win it. If they have the ball last, to me, they win it. I'm just going 50-50 picking who might have it last. I'm going to go with Buffalo. But this is going to be a great game to watch. Guys, that's our prediction here. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I also just set up the Twitter page. That link will be in the comments, in the description. Make sure to follow us there. Please drop a comment below, and I'll respond. Thank you for watching.